Hey everybody, this is Dr. William Clark here, your host of the Dr. William Clark podcast and Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for Career Resources. We are a nonprofit based in the city of Hartford and in the state of Connecticut. And we've been podcasting for quite a while, especially since the coronavirus hit. We've been working with partners and talking to them about what they're doing in the pandemic. And we wanted to come on with a group that is doing good work throughout the state of Connecticut, but specifically in New Haven. And on the phone, we have a gentleman by the name of Patrick Jones. Patrick, how are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for having me on the show,
Yeah,
or the podcast, rather.
thanks for joining us. And Patrick joins us from Goodwill of Western and Northeastern Connecticut. And he is a career coach for the Goodwill. So, Patrick, we wanted to get together and kind of talk about what you guys are doing in the pandemic. But before we get started, how about you just introduce yourself and let everybody know just a little bit about you?
Absolutely. I've been with Goodwill of Western and Northern Connecticut for about 2 years now. I've been a career coach. And pretty much what I do is I help individuals. We're actually open to the general public. We help people just in all aspects of gaining employment. That could be if they need help on their resume or cover letter, if they are having trouble with, the job search aspect of it, if they're having trouble filling out applications or they're struggling in the interview process, our career coaches help in all aspects of gaining employment, pretty much.
Yeah, and that's good stuff. And I think, Patrick, during this time, your work is just so important to keeping people going, right? And I think that is I think that's something that needs to be said, right? So just let's just jump into the programs you guys are offering, and then we'll kind of go from there with kind of digging deeper.
Absolutely. I understand that during this time, job search might be the last thing on some people's mind, but I think now is actually the time where you should be doing that kind of stuff. Now is the time to update that resume. Now is the time to see what's out there for jobs. And especially for people who are, struggling to find ends or make ends meet and they need that job quickly, we're there to, give them job leads on the industries that are still hiring during this time. And yeah, no, we're here to help.
Yeah. So when you look at keeping clients encouraged and supported, what job opportunities are you seeing out there that are still hiring? Because if you listen to the news only, the news will tell you there are record numbers of people applying for unemployment benefits, and we have no reason to doubt that. But what industries are you seeing out there that are really growing?
That's a great question. Yeah, we definitely see it on the news. There are definitely a lot of industries that are kind of hurting right now, but there are some that are hiring more than ever and some that are hiring at the normal rate just because the pandemic is not slowing them down. They need to stay open. Obviously, food industry, not necessarily like servers or anything like that, but they still need cooks. They need delivery drivers. I find that food service, grocery retail is a big one, like Walmart, Stop and Shop, ShopRite. They're hiring in mass right now to fill the demand. Anything with transportation, healthcare, obviously, certain types of manufacturing, if it has anything to do with medical uh, supplies or anything like that, manufacturing is still up and running. Maintenance, security, because they still need those jobs at various companies. So again, a lot of companies obviously they're hurting during this time, and they're probably putting their hiring and recruiting on hold, so to speak. But there are still industries that are either hiring more than ever or hiring at the same rate.
Yeah, I mean, and as a consumer, I go to Walmart, go to Target. You call them food service retail agencies or organizations, which is really good. And I go to these places, and I'm super thankful that, as someone who's in the industry, workforce development obviously is good to see people working, right? Because things like this, things like 2008, 2001, and other crises that hit our country typically hit people on the front line much harder than anyone else, right? So I'm super grateful to have people
Absolutely.
who are still working, but I'm also grateful as a consumer to know that there are people here who are still serving, especially the basic needs of my family, right? So for people who
Yeah.
are saying to themselves, Patrick, like, I appreciate what you're saying, but I just can't find work. How do you respond to that?
Well, I tell them that, same as someone who's struggling during, normal times, even though it's not a pandemic. We say, okay, well, let's take a look at everything we're doing and let's make sure that we're doing everything right. Let's make sure that the resume is good. Let's make sure that the cover letter is good. If they're not doing a cover letter, hey, I recommend doing a cover letter. We make sure that they're filling out the application correctly. We make sure that every step along the way they're doing correct. And then obviously, but since going back to the pandemic, it is a little discouraging trying to find some jobs that it might the job search might be they're struggling right now a little bit, but I just try to tell them not to give up and to just keep applying, and it's a numbers game. The more you apply for, the more hits you can get back.
So let's dig a little deeper, right? Goodwill is known for a number of things. Obviously, the retail shops that you guys have, which serves as a community staple around the country. You guys are known for your workforce development stuff. I want to dig a little deeper with you, right? And I want to talk about cover letters and resumes. When you're advising and coaching clients on cover letters and resumes, let's start with cover letters. What do you advise as the basic things that must be in your cover letter, particularly if you're looking for an opportunity during this strange time while we're dealing with this pandemic?
So I would say the cover letter, the same as the resume. At the end of the day, the job of the cover letter is to get you the interview. That is what its main purpose is at the end of the day. It's to get you face to face with an employer. And what a cover letter just does at the end of the day is sell your skills and qualifications and achievements if you got some. So I wouldn't recommend changing that. The cover letter would still stay the same. It would pretty much it's about you. It's selling yourself as a potential candidate for a specific position. So if you do that with the cover letter, I don't think it needs to change. You can add an element about the pandemic if you want to stress something, a story of how the pandemic has affected you and how it's not affecting your work. You can add that, but overall, I would just keep the cover letter focused on you and your skills.
And then let's talk about the resume. What are you advising clients that they should keep put in their resume as they're putting one together?
So we actually help with resumes. We could talk about that more later, but we definitely, we help our clients with the resumes. We build them from scratch. We update them. We revise them, whatever level they're at. Obviously, I would recommend that now is the time to update your resume, because once the things start to slow down and you're back at work, well, guess what? Now you have less time. Now is the time to update the resume. So I definitely recommend coming to us, and we can help you out with that.
So let's talk about, how you guys help people put together their resumes. Just walk us through what people can expect if they were to get in touch with Goodwill and secured you guys as their career coach. What do you do to help them put their resumes together?
So normally we have people that come into the career center and they say, hey, can I get a resume done? And we're like, sure. We get them registered, which is like a quick form on the computer that we set them up with, very basic information. And then we sit with them and we help them with their resume right there. We type it out for them. We have a conversation. We figure out what goes on there. And then they leave the career center with the resume. Now, our physical career centers are unfortunately closed right now due to the pandemic, but we are still helping our clients virtually, either over the phone or over the computer. So we are still helping, folks, especially with resumes. And so we're still helping out with that.
Have you found that the work you guys do with resume development, career coaching has it changed at all since it moved to an online environment, or are you finding that it's pretty much the same or more intense?
I would say it's definitely a different, whole new ball game, really. We're used to that face-to-face contact with our clients. We like that. We like having the conversation, meeting them face-to-face. Now it's kind of over the phone and, virtually over Zoom. We're still happy that we're helping people, but it is definitely different. We are seeing less, obviously, because we see more in our centers, but we're still helping people every day. So
yeah, for us, at Career Resources, we operate the Strive program around the state, as you know, and Strive, like many other nonprofit programs, is known for its in-person programming. Right, you come to one of our offices, conveniently located near you, and you join a cohort and you experience a class. And when everything went down, Patrick, we had to switch all operations to online. The program was online, training was online, case management was online, the whole nine. We were nervous about the client adjusting to that and not having connectivity to programs that we have. We were pleasantly proven wrong by our customers who stayed connected with our April cohort, and that has like fueled so much innovation and inspiration within our team, and it's causing us to go harder and further. Come with our May cohort, and obviously working with you and your team to help us do that. Have you guys found any new things, any new innovations, any new opportunities as a result of going online?
Yeah, so Goodwill has actually always offered virtual services like what we're doing right now. We've always offered it, but not a lot of people were utilizing it because they'd rather go to the career center, like one of our career centers, either in Hartford, Bridgeport, Waterbury. They'd rather go there and meet with a career coach and work on the computer. But obviously due to the pandemic, we put all our eggs in this basket since we had to close the career center. So we put all career coaches on virtually, and yeah, no, it's definitely it's opened up a whole new world, of just helping people from the comfort of their own home. It's definitely a new experience, and we're glad that we can still be able to help people during this time. As far as some new stuff that we put together, we actually did because of the pandemic. We actually put together a COVID workshop specific to helping people during this time.
And you want to share with us what goes into that workshop?
Absolutely. So we put it together, and it changes. Obviously, the resources kind of change weekly, almost even daily. So we kind of keep updating it. But we are offering to our clients a COVID workshop, and it's called our Let's Get Through This Together workshop. And it strays a little bit away from career resources and services that we normally offer, but we figured now is the time to market this stuff. So it basically goes over supports and resources that people can take advantage of during the COVID-19 pandemic to help. It basically what it does. It goes over the assistance that is out there for them, such as mortgage assistance, rent relief, if they need internet access, if they are having trouble with utilities, their landlord. It basically goes over those briefly, and it just kind of goes over what you should do and, some resources that are out there to assist you.
I think that is so important because during this time, more and more resources have been made available. Obviously, you guys have resources, career resources, and Strive. We have resources, but then there are more other practical resources that are available. You talked about housing related, transportation related, food related. I don't know about where you are, but in my community, churches have banded together to give away free meals 6 nights a week in the greater Hartford area. And so there is so much out there for people who are just looking for a huge opportunity. So with that being said, talk to us about other programs Goodwill has going on that you think would be a benefit of to people that they could take advantage of during this time.
So right now, our main thing that is open to the public is the virtual career services. So if they wanted to, they can go to gwct.org/virtual services, and they can sign up for whatever they think they need assistance with. It could be whether it's resume, cover letter, if they want to practice and refine their interview skills, if they need help figuring out a job search strategy. They would just click on that and submit a quick little form, and then a career coach will contact them that day to either set up an appointment or help them right then and there. So, Goodwill is still helping people find jobs, and that's what our main mission always has been. I know a lot of people associate us with retail and donations, but all the money that the stores make goes into programs like mine to help people find employment. That's what we're all about.
That is so amazing. And I can't let you go before I ask this particular question. You are a career coach, and I would like for you to speak to the person listening to this podcast, watching this podcast on Facebook, YouTube, or wherever, LinkedIn, who is saying, Patrick, I need you to speak to me right now in my home, on my smartphone, on my tablet. Can you give us three top tips you are giving out as a career coach during this time that will help people and that will encourage people to kind of stay the course and to believe that they can make it?
Okay, absolutely. So, let me think. My first big tip, I know I said it before, but I'm going to say it again. Now is the time to work on your resume. I know a lot of people are at their jobs and now they're either laid off or furloughed, and they're not really looking for a job because they're discouraged about the job market right now. But now is the time to update that resume. Now is the time to make that cover letter. I definitely would recommend that. Now is the time when you have all this free time. And if you need help with those things, please sign up for our virtual services at gwct.org/virtual services. It's a quick form, and a career coach will contact you that day. My second tip is something that I recommend to people all the time, and now that we have all this free time, I definitely recommend it. It is to work on your digital skills. And what I mean by that is working on Microsoft PowerPoint, Word, and Excel. A lot of people are scared by these programs, but these are very basic programs, and a lot of jobs require them. Now is the time to work on them. You are at home. You have the free time. I would play around with them, and if you want, you can go to gcflearnfree.org. It's a free website, and you can just study up on Microsoft Word, PowerPoint, or Excel, or even just refresh on them. I definitely recommend it because there are millions of jobs every year not fulfilled because people don't meet the very basic digital skill requirement that is needed for these jobs. And then thirdly, it's going to be I know this is a tough time, but this time will pass. And I think it's important that we all band together and stick together and don't give up, especially if you need a job right now. Keep looking. If you are going to be looking for a job after that, keep working on it now.
Patrick, that is so good, and I'm gonna actually repeat everything you just said. For those of you who are listening to this podcast, watching this podcast, Patrick gave some good advice, and he said, "This is the time now to update your resume." That is always good advice. He said, "Work on digital skills," and Patrick, I believe in that, and. At the Career Resources Strive program, we are actually hosting our Strive Workforce Readiness training program via Zoom. And if you've never utilized Zoom and you're a job seeker and you're curious of how to use it, what it's about, what is everybody talking about, if you simply take our course, you will be, and take the Strive course, you'll be learning Zoom simultaneously. And so, Patrick, I totally agree with the digital skills. And then, lastly, which is just basic human advice, right? Stick together and stay the course, right? And I agree and co-sign all those points. Patrick, I know that we're working on a partnership and what we can do for our folks in the New Haven area. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to working with Goodwill. Thank you so much for joining this podcast. Any parting thoughts you want to share with us before we sign off?
I just want to say thank you so much again for having me on and letting me talk about my program, and thank you so much for talking about your program too. You guys do great stuff as well. As far as closing thoughts, again, it's a tough time, but we're still here. We're still helping people. So we're just helping people in a different way, but feel free to come on down, so to speak. Just go to the website, or you can give us a call at 203-581-5040, and we'll help you out as best we can, all right?
That is good. We just had a conversation with Patrick Jones, career coach for Goodwill of Western and Northern Connecticut. My name is Dr. William Clark, Vice President of Strategic Initiatives for Career Resources. We'll see you in the next episode.